Peace. Is it buffering now? How is it now? I knew I should have stayed in this direct area. How's my sound? How's the buffering in the imagery? All good, perfect. Okay, see, I should have just followed my first mind and stayed right here in this vicinity. You know, you start talking and then you know what I mean? You lose track of, oh, I'm always talking about situational awareness. All right, so tell me the last thing y'all heard me say clearly, because I was on one, but apparently I was just talking to myself. So what was the last thing that I was saying that you guys were able to fully comprehend? Oh, Deion Sanders, that's the last thing? Oh, damn, I was by the fireplace. I was by the, firefighters, you know. I'm trying to think, what was I talking about? Deion Sanders. Dang, I said a lot after that. Okay, let me get my bearings back. I'm trying to remember, because Deion was the, oh, okay, I got it. So what I was saying was, you know, sometimes my voice and my writing and my language is kind of raw and uncut, real passionate, may come across as I'm not being sensitive or, you know, being considerate of a delicate situation like Deion Sanders' health concerns and health condition, which I feel like I've been more than compassionate and considerate, especially considering that he was actively promoting those shots to our young people in HBCUs, particularly black athletes, right? You were saying that your words may come across harsh. Yeah. And so we're at a point right now, though, where the handling of things with kid gloves isn't working anymore. And so in speaking truth and taking accountability for what that entails, sometimes it's a delicate situation that needs to be soft and flowery, which I have handled him and others with that sentiment. And then other times it's, you know, a more strong and deliberate type of energy, which is one of the things that the divine feminine is going to reestablish on this planet. We keep talking about softness, and yes, 100%, and, you know, femininity, yes, 100%, and, you know, the emotional and spiritual and sort of calming and peaceful element and presence of the divine feminine, 1000%. I'm here for all of that. I've been in my own personal, you know, sort of school, or I should say master teacher lesson in terms of those things, because I'm, you know, very intellectual, very scientific minded, very data and information heavy. Also grew up in Oakland, so navigating the war zone that is the inner city and the ghettos of America, being a black woman, being a biracial black woman and everything that comes with it. You know, people try to punk you if you let them. There's just a lot of layers and levels to that have charged me and caused me to be very right-brained, or very, I shouldn't say, well, yeah, that masculine aspect of myself, right? And intellectualism and science is not only a masculine attribute, but it is a more heavily focused masculine attribute that men and women are both supposed to embody. So anybody that's representing or supporting any notion that women are not supposed to be scientific or mathematic or, you know, precise when it comes to intellectual things, yeah, that's why we're in the situation we're in now. Because you took the women out of their power position in the scripture. You took the women out of intellectualism in the schools. you took the women out of the writing of the textbooks and, you know, took them out, or they took themselves out, tomato, tomato. But we're very unbalanced in all of our schools of thought in every country across this planet in terms of the role that women are supposed to play. So we're at a point now where the righteous light bearers, women, are going to reestablish what that's supposed to look and feel like. And that's why I'm here. You know what I mean? So I intend, and most of the time I'm handling these conversations with kid gloves, because I know a lot of us are just barely hanging on by a thread. We don't want to hear about, you know, boy, whew, it's so much I want to tell y'all. It's so much I want and need to tell you guys, but we're not going to get into all of that. When I say the only way out of this is within, I'm going to sit down for a second. Since I have a good signal, so I don't mess that up. And I have a vantage point right here of the palm trees. Most people will probably face the water, but that just tells you how much love I have for palm trees. I think they are the flyest, sexiest thing that the Most High has created. Aside from black men, of course. But let me stop flirting before I get more energy that I'm not trying to get. Okay, see, they got me, you know what I mean? You pick up that energetic resonance. It's a thing. Damn, what was I saying? The inner work is everything right now. And that's been my master teacher over these last 2 years, trying and working hard and trying to force and exert my will, and all the things that used to work for me have not been working. And so that concept of surrender has a whole new valuation and meaning and point of reference for me right now, because that's the point I'm at. And I've had so many "why have you forsaken me" moments, you know, with the Most High. But that's the relationship I have with Source, because I am Source, not the Source, but a direct reflection and child of the Most High, if you will, right? And so the same way my son challenges me with love and respect and asks questions and keeps me on my square, it's a reciprocal relationship with us in the Most High. Most High meaning your highest and best self. And then the Most High that's regulating this system, that sun up there. Don't none of us have to tell the sun to rise or the sun to set, right? It's doing what it's supposed to. And when we're on our square energetically, we can tap into the energy and the frequency of the sun and help us to navigate the situation. So to go back to what Mika was saying about having taken the shot, nature is here to support you. Nature, through the plants and the herbs and the sun and China, prana, chi, right? Life force energy, but you got to tap into the sciences of yourself. And that's got to be very intentional, and that's going to be difficult for people who weren't already doing it to do. So, you know, it's where we are right now. It's a great and dreadful day. It's a dreadful day for the people who haven't done the work. This is a terrible time to be just coming into consciousness. And I say that tongue in cheek because, you know, better late than never. But like, yes, you know, it's already difficult enough on the ground without knowing any of these things to have to, excuse me, somebody smell like some major strong beer. Mm-hmm. Definitely better late than never, Nelton. But you got to be on your square. It's crazy when you drink so much, you can smell it coming out of your pores. I don't know how y'all be drinking alcohol like that. Great and dreadful day. Great for those of us who have been and are doing the inner work and that are sitting up straight in our lives right now and intentionally trying to get better, and do better and be connected to Source and the Most High. Dreadful to be in this world. I'm talking about in this world and not of this world. Yeah, if you're still in this world, whew, I mean, and I talk about this in a video I did in my membership channel, but like me right now doing headline news and trying to contextualize everything that's happening and having a week's worth of news that I save in a week, and then in a couple of days there's a whole other week's worth of news. That's like from government shutdowns to National Guard in black cities to the black and white dichotomy. This is why, when I say the race dichotomy has ended, right? And it sounds, I won't say hypocritical because that's not the right word, but that sounds like a fugazi right now, right? Because the racial strife and tension is at an all-time high. Yeah, that's because it's on its way out. It's already ran its course. So in the same way, oh God, this is a terrible example. I don't even want to use that because I don't even want to say. I was about to, yeah. What's another example can I use? When it's at the pinnacle, of expression, that's when things get the most charged. That's when things get the most difficult. That's when the pressure is at its peak, right? Because there's getting ready to be a major change. But if you don't change, you're not going to be a part of the change. You're going to be a part of that old world model. So how you think, how you feel, how you eat, how you live, how you breathe, how I've been saying that and how it sounds so like, oh, nobody want to hear that. I got bills to pay. I got, we want real. There's one video. I'm going to share it on my social media because the brother's name is Steve Bagley, if I remember correctly. It was a sister who was like all of the negative caricatures that black women have. Yeah, she was coming with that energy. And she was just like, we don't want to hear all of that. We want to know what the solution is. And he was trying to explain it and she kept cutting him off and she was really irritating me. I'm not going to lie. But he delicately handled her, which I'm grateful for. But she was just like, we don't want to hear all of that. It starts within, we want to hear the real solution. And he basically was saying in his own words the same thing that I'm saying. Like it all starts within you. If you are not serious about your diet right now, if you're not serious about trimming the fat in your life in terms of the type of people, the quality people you have around you, if you're still doing things every day that you hate, if you go to a job every day that you hate, then you think that don't affect the money that the income that you receive and you put that money out into the world. It's all recycling energy. It's keeping that energy alive. Right? And I ain't saying quit your job, but what I am saying is make a decision. We out here flowing in the wind, indecisive, living to pay bills. That shit is for the birds. That's hell. Yeah, with so many voices online and AI is getting worse. It's getting so much worse. And there's so much. It's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's bland. You know what I mean? It's mayonnaise. It's fluff. I say mayonnaise because mayonnaise doesn't have any taste, right? I don't know how people even eat mayonnaise. Miracle Whip when I did dairy, sure. Mayonnaise, what's the point? I don't understand. Just to have a spread on the sandwich, it doesn't make any sense. Mustard has zeal. It has life. Like I said, I live my life in color. I don't want no bland gray shit around me. I need zest. I need tanginess. I need culture. I need texture. Okay? But, yeah, it's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of content now being made by AI, right? And so having discernment, this is why fasting is so critical. This is why reading is so critical, so your brain can be sharp, so you can see the play. It's not just reading the information that's in the book. Yes, that's important. But by reading, you are sharpening your brain, the muscle of your brain. That's one of the ways that you develop discernment. Like, yeah, that sounds like truth, but that sounds like bullshit, right? But if you're sitting around listening to bullshit all day, all the time, then truth then bullshit sounds like truth, and truth sounds like bullshit. You know? So the psychological warfare, and what I was saying about Deion Sanders and all of the athletes and all of the like, yeah, man, it's ooh, Lord, oh my goodness. I think if we knew how many people that those shots have already done a number on around the world, we'd be a lot more serious. And at this point, I don't even feel like it's my job to tell you guys, because I don't, you know what I mean? It's peace to the knowledge and wisdom seekers. If you want to know, the information is there to find, but it's not a game out here. So we got the orange man and all of his racial antics, and he is, empowering all of his race soldiers in this country, because subconsciously they all know their time is up. Like nature is not supporting them anymore. The timeline is not supporting them anymore. The state of consciousness and awareness of the melanated people around the world. I'm being conscientious of these two behind me too, because they standing close enough to hear me, and I'm with the shits right now, so please do not play with me. But no, I'm not. I don't want any confrontation unless absolutely necessary. But the consciousness and awareness of the melanated people around the world is increasing, and racism, white supremacy cannot exist in that space. Two opposing frequencies can't occupy the same space at the same time. That's why they go so hard to keep us ignorant, to keep us blind, to keep us eating poison food and off our square in terms of our diet, and listening to poison and garbage and paying attention to poison and garbage. That's why they're creating more poison and garbage in social media and all these different areas. And now they don't even have to pay a crew to create the poison and garbage. They'll just pay some little pencil neck to sit down and tell AI what to create, and it'll take 60 seconds to put up a video. I saw a video about, it's like 60 seconds, and it was like a cartoonish type of video, but it was a black woman, or a caricature of a. She had the long eyelashes with the long weave, and that whole thing. And she was just like, "Yeah, I got 3 baby daddies, and my child support is this amount a month, and it's up." And like on some real Cardi B type shit. And mind you, I just saw a video of Cardi B. As much as I want to love her personality, she's funny and all of that, but she is so dangerous and toxic when it comes to the ecosystem of women. There's a video of her twerking next to a male stripper. Mind you, she's like 6 months pregnant at this point. So she twerking up against the wall like a dog in heat. And the stripper, who I'm assuming is a gay man, because why would any straight man ever find himself in this position or condition? He has on a G-string, and he's on the ground twerking, and they're having a twerk off. So literally, when you watch the video, the first thing you see is her on the wall twerking, and then the gay dude, or whatever he is, stripper, has a thong on, and so you see him from behind on the ground twerking against Cardi. All in the comments like, "Oh, it's on Hollywood Unlocked," I think it was. So, but the video, the AI video, which seems like it was on some black dude's page, I didn't get all deep into it. I just was like, who's spending their time creating stuff like this? So she's like, welfare, ghetto baby mama. Yeah, I take my check and I go get my nails and my lashes done. Just like 60 minutes of just straight the worst caricatures of black females. Who's sitting around creating that type of content? Like, you could have did anything with this. This is what I be saying to y'all in the chat room. You come here and say something slick or something silly, like, yeah, you could have said anything. You chose to say that. You could be using this content for anything. You could have dropped some jewels from somebody who wrote a book, let's say for instance, because she, is in that category of holding black women accountable. Why you didn't just have a black woman read a clip from her book telling black women, things that they could or should do to be better partners or to be better for themselves, if that's the angle you trying to approach. And so the NPCs are in full around the world. You know what I mean? Mustard has turmeric. zip, zest, and zeal. Yeah, keep that shit away from me. I don't want certain energy around me, and especially around my son. You did your part, honestly. Yeah, for sure. I paid a heavy price for it too. So now I'm about to focus on myself and building my legacy and building my empire. You know, my heart has been broken. I'm not gonna lie, because I definitely thought I was gonna get a lot more support in terms of my book, but it's all good. I've pivoted and I'm focusing in a different type of direction right now. So yeah, that means I gotta, pull back my energy in these spaces and put my energy more so focusing on those things. Zaza, I was looking for you. LOL, your site was gone the other day. Glad to see you thriving. I'm in Long Beach, right by the beach. I walked along the beach. This is the second video. The first one I went a little too far out and it got cut off, so I just started another one. Yeah, I want to do a total internet blackout detox for 3 months, but it's so hard. I think I'm probably going to do a couple of months. I'm just, I'm trying to keep the algorithm active. That's why I've been posting stuff on my social media pages, because there is benefit if you have a business. If I didn't have run my business through social media, it would be so easy for me. I would delete the apps and wouldn't think twice about it. That's one of my prayers and meditations over these last couple of years is I don't want my business and my income to be subject to, sorry, something's crawling on me, subject to social media and the internet, because the algorithm has been working against me for a couple of years now. You're definitely spot on about the race frequency dying. It's about the consciousness. The shot was the plug into that matrix, and everyone who got the shot is on that frequency. Facts. And controllable. Word. Hey, Queen, I got my book. It's a masterpiece. I will post soon. Beautiful. Very happy to see you here, too, sis. I was wondering if you got it. So, yeah, wonderful. Everybody who has gotten their books, I need you guys to tag me and to let me know your feedback, because it's important to me and it helps me in the algorithm in terms of like putting that information out into the world. And it does matter. I forget a lot of times to like support, to like share and to focus on my books, my workbooks. I always forget, just because I'm always like, whatever is on my mind or my heart, I want to focus in on that. But I feel like I should have earned your support and your belief in me at this point, where I don't have to do so much of that stuff on my own. And I've been doing it on my own this whole entire time, and I'm exhausted. I'm not gonna lie. So the retreat and the focusing and pivoting towards just 100% focusing on my book is one of the reasons why. So we got China. This is like me. This is a bootleg version of headline news, because I'm still paying attention to what's going on, even though I haven't been doing them. The tariff war with China is back on now. Trump just announced 100% taxes on tariffs from China, which is going to have a ripple effect, even though they're both playing for the same team. It's all a game. How do you know? Because China has a full-fledged 100% social credit system in full-fledged against their own people. Okay? We got the situation in the Middle East right now where they have basically painted 2 million people into the corner of their own homeland. They've already started construction. Everything they said they were going to do, they have done, and they are doing. Those same people are the people who mandated those shots. So if you are pro-Palestine, are you pro the children in these school systems who are still subject to that poison? I don't see the same type of focus. I don't see the same type of intention. That's one of the things that frustrates me. That's why sometimes it seems like I'm getting gully on y'all, or like speaking hardcore or brash, but I find a lot of this shit to be hypocritical in terms of how much love and support we pay to the world, but that we don't pay to ourselves. These babies is out here figuring it out and at the hands of these devils on their own. And we are not consistent and insistent in any type of collective way about the things that really matter. Got ants crawling on me, so let me stand up. Nah, the sales haven't been anything close to what I expected them to be. And the book is very expensive to produce. And I've produced 4 different versions at this point. So, the learning curve of getting it perfect has been what it was. But yeah, the book is very expensive, but it's expensive because the standard that I have in creating it was high. So no, the sales have not been anywhere near what I thought that they would be. Not just because I feel like I have a large audience, but because I feel the void. Because I created something that I've been hearing black people complain about for the last 20 years. So I created it. And I used my own money to create it. And I sacrificed a lot to create it. And no, not only the support and the sales, but even like getting people to share it on social media. I'm like, damn, is it that? Am I asking that much? Okay. Maybe I'm going about this wrong. So I'm out of direct to consumer sales, and I'm focusing right now on schools, colleges, high schools, universities, because that was my overall focus anyway. But yeah, that extreme disappointment and heartbreak have helped me to give birth to proper perspective. So I alchemize the circumstances as I always do. But yeah, it's like being in a bad marriage. Being committed to teaching people and supporting people and loving people and encouraging people who don't reciprocate. I could write a whole book about that, but I won't. I also thought the movie Sinners was about that dissolving of race and the infection of deaf consciousness. Yeah, for sure. Ryan Coogler, I mean, you know, he's from Oakland, so there's that. My brother, my kindred brother in heart, mind, and spirit, he's on time and he's doing his part. It was about the race element, and then it was also about the state of consciousness. Because remember when, what's his name? I want to say Menelik, but I know it ain't Menelik. And Menelik was a great, mighty African king, so pardon me for that. You know, the dude whose name started with an M, white dude. It's not by chance that the main devil or deity was a white man, right? But you see that when he, you know, all of the people that he controlled, it was beyond race. You know what I mean? And race was a part of the subject, and it was like, yeah, this is about race, but like, I'm taking all souls. I want all souls. Now, I want your soul and his soul in particular because his light is bright. And this was, you know, the brother, through his ability to affect people and impact the world through song, through his voice, right, through the music. But that's just one reflection. Some of us do that through creating content. Some of us do that through the books that we write. Some of us do that through, you know, the words that we speak and the energy that we make manifest in that way. Some of us do it through art. Some of us do it through poetry. Some of us do it through building. But I hope you found your way to do it. I'm very clear on why the devil has been on my head since the day I came out the hospital. Yeah, he's been grabbing at my soul for a very long time. I understand very well why. I know what my offering is and that thing about me that he wants to harness my light and harness my energy. I hope you know. And if you know, then that means that you need to be just as intentional and consistent in fine-tuning whatever your thing is, whatever your niche is, your superpower is. So when I talk about like the you know, circumstances and difficulty of my upbringing, my life, my family dynamic, yeah, it gave me superpowers. That's the flip side of it. Some people get, you know, buried in or destroyed by those type of upbringings, not having support and love and a mother and family and, you know, the continuity of that type of shit breaks people. For me, it gave me superpowers because I alchemized it. So that's what the true and living ones amongst us, particularly black people in America, the ones who are able to alchemize the circumstances and situations on the ground, that's what it is. That's what the science is. It's not just about lineage. It's not just about bloodline. You got to be actively working to elevate yourself in consciousness. You got to be actively working to have discipline over your sexual energy, over your habits, over the words that you speak, over the type of people you hang around, the type of environment you surround yourself with. You know, God has qualifications. The standards are high. I gotta look around me because I am in Babylon. NPCs abound out here. But it works because nature is, you know what I mean? The frequency of Mother Nature out here is so high that the NPCs have minimal impact, if any, on a soul like mine. Now, on an NPC, it'll be difficult to navigate this environment. For me, not so much. How you doing? I'm at Long Beach. Much love, RL. I got the book, first edition hardback cover. That's love. And you know, that one is out of print. So you have an exclusive, you know, that will never be that combination of both of those books. It made sense in my mind when I was creating it. And then when I had the book, I was like, oh my God, this is like encyclopedia type in terms of volume. You know, I had to pivot. That's the learning curve. But that's striving to be great. Like, nah, I want it to be right. I want it to be beautiful. I want it to be as impactful as possible. I want it to be excellent. So it's going to cost me more money. It's going to cost me more stress, all of those things. But like, I got to get this right until my soul says yes. The book now, my soul says yes. My soul said yes the whole time. I'm just saying, the learning curve. I've learned so many things about the publishing industry as a result of this process. So yeah, it's legendary things happening. And then, you know, you don't only have to be a celebrity or an athlete or a superstar to be doing legendary things. The real stars are about to shine. The real stars are about to really, you know what I mean? Reflect the true light and the magnificence and the brilliance of the Most High. That's what we're here for. So while everybody is so focused on celebrities, you might want to rethink that. Deion Sanders, you know what I mean? He's paying the price right now. And his sons are paying the price. His family is paying the price. So the devil comes to collect. How do you navigate that? You got to redeem yourself. There's a collective response to redemption, and then there's his individual response. He'd have to completely sever his ties with them people. All of the football organizations, he'd have to completely sever his ties with them to redeem himself. And I'm not even saying that I'm the one who decides that. I'm saying you work for Satan right now. You got endorsements with Satan right now. People that are actively doing the devil's work. You want to redeem yourself? Cut ties. That's a different type of conversation. It's not one for me to have with him. I'm just saying, we just talking. So I felt bad because in my stories I said, you know, the devil is coming to collect when I was talking about his situation with his health right now. And I meant that. But I also know, you know, I'm a writer, so I know I can use language and words to be delicate and finesse, you know, the language so that it comes across in a certain type of way. But some days it's just got to be swords drawn. Because, you know what I mean? That soft, frilly, you know, love and light conversation, it has limited effect on a hard-headed people. And I don't just mean black people are hard-headed. I mean, like, they're telling you everything that they've done. They're telling you everything that they're doing. The writing is on the wall. They're not hiding anything in the morning. And we're all just kind of lollygagging and skipping to our loo and acting like none of this shit is happening. I find it fascinating. It's a price to pay for not paying attention. And you could be paying attention to the best and the brightest and the most beautiful things, but pay attention. Sit up straight. Balance of indulgence and discipline. Fasting. How are you thinking? How are you speaking to yourself? How are you treating yourself? What type of relationship are you in? Is it giving you life, or is it keeping you stagnated and limited? What type of job are you committing yourself to? We should, you know, in 2020, the notion of just working jobs for an income, when they put y'all on the mat, when they put you on the mat and told you you don't have any value unless you are compliant, I could never. That's why my son didn't go to college, because I'm sorry, what? Okay, he don't have to take it, but you're giving this shot to people that are going to be sitting next to him in the class every day? I don't think so. I don't want to be a part of anything and want my son to be a part of anything where that type of wicked shit is going on. Not to mention the fact that for the first 7 weeks, they telling you not to have sex for the first 7 weeks. They telling you not to conceive a child during the first 7 weeks. Why? Because your body and other people around you are susceptible in a different type of way. I ain't mean to go into all of that, y'all, but I'm just saying, it's all relative. It's a great and dreadful day. Great for the people that have exercised discipline and spiritual discernment and consciousness and awareness and that are striving for the light. In my darkest times in these last few years, I've always been striving for the light. My soul is not for sale, because if it was, I'd be on Instagram half naked and would have already sold 100,000 books. It's not difficult. I'm just not wired for that. I play the long game. Yeah, Nelson said 2025 has been a revealing year. Facts. Jim said talk that talk. Yeah, that's why we're here. So-called celebrities. The real stars are about to shine. We about to see. We are about to see. I'm telling you. Did you watch the movie Him? Nah, I was going to go to the movies, but it got real bad reviews. And I know there's a lot of symbolism. I could tell by just by the advertisements and the trailers that there's a lot of symbolism in it. If it had good reviews, I would go check it because I love movies. What's the movie I just saw? The one with Tiana Taylor. That's a damn good movie. I really enjoyed that movie. But yeah, if it's a good movie, I'll go see it. But if it's trash, I'll wait for it to come out on, Netflix or whatever and watch it there. But I've been seeing, people do the exposés and talk about the hidden symbolism or the symbolism in the movie. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're in our face with it now. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. Hard heads make soft ass. Fact. Much love, E-School. I appreciate you for the super chat. I was running my own business around 2020. It was peaceful for me. Yeah. I even traveled to Nigeria around that time. No sickness. What did you like about the Tiana Taylor film? It's just a great action movie. It's good acting. It's quality acting. The script, even though it's a little far-fetched just in terms, I mean, it's relative to what's happening with the whole immigration conversation now. All these movies, they have double entendres, right? It's a good film to make movie, but then on a deeper level, it's like programming you and preparing you for things that are come, or trying to, the divergent aspect, right? Like are you pro-immigration or anti-immigration? Are you pro-black or pro-white, right? It's all about dividing and conquer in terms of getting people in these specific states of consciousness. But the acting is great, the action is great. It's just a really good movie. It's very well made. It was engaging from the beginning to the end. It's just a really good movie. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Miss Kimberly. I asked because I heard the story is from a book where the main character is a white woman, so I want to read the book first. That's interesting because the whole movie is about race. I mean, it's not directly about race. It's about like revolution, but the black-white element is there heavy. Tiana is the black woman, but, I don't want to give too much of it away, but like she has experiences with gentlemen of the opposite race, right? I don't want to give too much of it away, but yeah, it's race all through and through, and her character plays a big role in terms of the racial element. So that's interesting. I didn't even know it was based on a book, but the movie is really, really good. I give it 5 stars. Well, 4.5, because there was some weird stuff going on in there too. It was a little weird. There's this Netflix show called Monster. It's based on the story of the serial killer Ed Gein, I think his name was, or Ed Gein. And I watched it, and I know that Ed Gein was one of the serial killers that a lot of the films are based around, including Hannibal. Remember when he was skinning his victims and making this bodysuit out of. So Hannibal, as well as, I want to say it was, I don't remember which other serial killer, maybe Charles Manson. I think there was some Manson in there, but I'm saying that to say I have a fascination with serial killers. I always have. The human brain and